Greetings, everyone. I'm Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. What's something about that? All right. I don't know what is going on with that, but we'll try something. All right. Now, the first 15 minutes of it. Sorry about that. Speaker already. All right. So I got into so many things, but this is going to be the beginning of a new adventure called Adventures into the Strange. My webpage is adventuresintothe.strange.com. But that needs a lot of work. I'll get to that too. But I have so many things going on right now, and there's just so much stuff happening with the election. People, I don't know where you're coming from, where you're going, well, what you expect in life, what you expect to do, or any of those kind of words. But there is a serious problem. All right. Now, it's two people running for presidency. One of them should be, and one of them should not be. I'll get into that little by little. But I want to get into a couple of things that's really important, things that you should really be worried about, dealing with, and understanding. I could go on for 10 hours about Trump, but the problem with that is he's still talking to Putin, thinking Putin is his friend. He is not. I'll tell you something that very few people know, talk about, or even will talk about. 3 months before Trump was elected, I'm talking years ago, Mr. Putin said on Russian TV, I want Mr. Trump to tell the world what actually happened on 9/11. He said, or I will. And then he said, I want him to tell people of the world what the United States is doing with aliens. Aliens in space, not the ones from coming to the border. All right, aliens. At that time, he said, and this is what Putin said on Russian TV. We heard it live. He also told it to him face to face. He said, okay, we're dealing with 27 alien races. And I know I'm in the UFO world all my life as well. The top people, the people that I know that work in government and everything else, do the same thing. Two of them, two races, want to destroy the planet. And we've been having wars with them. You don't have to believe anything I say, but I'm just telling you the truth. And you need to search out all the little things I'm saying and find out whether you want to believe it or not. I'm not a liar. I deal with God only. I'm responsible to God only, not to people, not to other people, not to the government, not to anybody else. It's God first. Everybody else is second, but the last. But getting back to that, the United States has been dealing with UFOs since Eisenhower and Truman. They created a special secret force called MJ-12. It's real. Mr. Musk has no clue. Trump has no clue to the power that they have and what they actually do. All right. So in the interim, that happened in the beginning of the 50s. All right. And it's still been going on. Now, Russia and the United States actually had wars with alien ships in space. Germans were partially involved with a lot of things as well. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to believe it or understand it. In space, we're all supposed to be one race, not separate countries and everything else. That was agreed on a long time ago. People, if you doubt what I'm saying, do research, find out the truth. But most of the truth is covered up, hidden, and lost. All right. I don't know why hold on. All right. I don't know if my comments are working or not. I'm just going to try one thing real fast. Okay. All right. I've been in the UFO world since I was 6 years old, not because I wanted to be. And I'll tell you, just about everything you ever heard is real. Everything from Bigfoot, aliens, Loch Ness Monster, all the things, ghosts, spirits, demons, all that's real. And death is real, reincarnation is real. All those things. I'm going to get into it, and we're doing it in all my shows from now on. This is going to be the same link you can get into any show I do. I'm going to try to do at least one a week. I've been dealing with so many weird things over the past 2 months. Hopefully, I'll be getting back to normal. I had a co-host for almost 3 years. She's in England, and she's going through the most incredible, horrible things. And hopefully, she said she wants to come back and start doing a show again with me. So we did it for 3 years. I'm not going to go into that story. It's a whole nother story, which will be another show. I want to keep it towards what's happening right now. People, one of the most important people in the United States that ever came out exposing lies, not Snowden. I'm talking about Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura was one of the few people on TV exposing the truth and the lies. There's so many more lies out there than the truth is, because the truth is pretty well covered up. But he exposed the truth. And I'm going to go into that rather simply. Underground cities are real. They're all across the United States, and they have roughly about 10,000 people, each one of them already. They don't do digging holes in the ground anymore or anything like that. It's all laser technology. They don't mind. If you go to Denver Airport, which was the base, and it still is the base for the New World Order, they took the steel flooring out 2 years after it was built, which said U.S. New World Order. They had a capstone, which was a glass case with all the pictures of the presidents and trophies and everything else. But in the floor, it said U.S. New World Order. All right. That was ripped out, and they put a fountain over it 2 years later. But they had the murals. If anybody was aware of the murals, which most people just ignored, showed what they did, what they believed, and everything else. There's only one there. At the last time I went, big mural, disgusting. And you wonder why. What the reason for the building of that, why it's built the way it is very important. But that's another story for another time. All right. I want to keep up to what's happening right now, the dangers and what we're going into. We have two people that are dangerous to the world. Trump, obviously, and Mr. Musk. Well, Musk will be the first trillionaire in 2 years. All right. I don't know what goes on in his brain, if anything, what he thinks, what he knows, what he talks about. He has a way to make money. Making money is being stealing from the poor. That's how people become rich. Medical companies, you name it. They make money. Everybody's to making money, not to helping people, saving people, or that. I can't say much about that. I watched 20 shows already. YouTube is very strict about medical words and things like that. But for the interim, let's get back to Musk. Trump. Musk's main goal in his life and his brain is to get to Mars. He puts things up, well, if you answer this quiz, you can be part of my crew to go to Mars and all these things. And I write him a nasty letter 5 times a day at least. I call it nasty, but it's the truth, not lies. I'm not attacking him from lies. I'm attacking him from the truth. The truth that he has no clue about. He talks about space, and his one ship blew up, and nobody talked about that. Russia did. Things that are happening. He's involved with, I'm going to go into Tesla, not today. The next show, maybe the show after that. What Tesla did and what he created and what's happening to the world because of that. And there is nothing good. Battery-operated cars are not better than anything else. Batteries are the danger. We don't even need the batteries we're using right now. We shouldn't be using them. I'm talking about solar power either. I mean, there's words like glass battery. Check it out. There's other things out there. When I was 14, I'm 71 now. So I was like 17. There was a man that had a company, Better World Technologies. He produced free energy. He was put in jail a couple of times. I paid $1 million to get out, and they kept trying to get him, and then suddenly he disappeared. He created dome homes. He created noiseless jackhammers. He did a lot of incredible things. He made a coating. You could put it over an egg, and then hit it with a blowtorch, and it couldn't burn through it. He did a lot of good things, but they kept bringing him to court and saying he's a liar, he's cheating people out of money. What he did before he disappeared, went around putting these units in the person's property and said, send me the money. They didn't even ask for the money when he was doing it, and he was on the run, and then he disappeared. The company is Better World Technologies. I'm not making it up. And I was going to go work with my friend making dome homes across the United States at that time. But that's just one little thing. All right. Now, Musk is talking a lot about, he contradicts himself a lot. And I'm talking maybe 6 months ago, he came out and said, well, AI is going to be really important. It's going to remove all the simple jobs. Remove all the simple jobs. Does that mean anything to you people? If you have a nice simple job, it means you can lose the job real easy, which will happen soon. All right. Robots, AI are going to take away just about everything middle class and poor people have. I mean, there's hospitals with robots going around. New York City, something put robots around on the street. All that's going to happen, but they're only getting better technology, which they have and had, and putting it into place. So that means all these little jobs that people have will have no job. Oh, that's okay. Putin came out, what, 2 weeks later? Well, we got to be careful about AI. It might take away things, might start controlling. Well, I just watched a special 3 days ago, 2 people from an AI corporation talking about it. They said right now, when you go into AI and ask you questions, it's a free thinking thing. There's no control over what it says, but it's actually going to be, and I'm telling you straight out, you don't have to believe me. In 3 to 4 years, AI will be a live entity. Wasn't created by the government, wasn't created by Russia, China, Japan. It was created a long time ago and brought to the United States, Russia, and China. All right. It's an entity. If you look up what an entity is, if you don't know what an entity is, it will prove itself soon enough. And if you watch the original movie where the robot, the AI took over the spaceship and everything else, think about it. That was put out when I was a child, but it was dead right on. Right? AI, they're having problems with companies and corporations. My brother was a chemist. Well, he's barely alive right now, but he talked about what they said they're going to program robots and everything, but the only thing it can't do is kill, which is if you can do it to a human, you can do it to a computer chip or program. And if a program becomes alive, it can do whatever it wants. I mean, if you watch a lot of these stories that happen with the monkeys and all those kind of things and how AI takes over, but it will. All right. That's one of our major problems that'll happen outside of getting Trump in. But let's speak to Musk. I write him a letter. I write him a simple letter. You're going to spend how many dollars, how many millions, billions of dollars to send some rockets up into space and all these things. Well, his cable company's out there, Starlink, all right? And one cell company is already using it. But it's expensive. And the equipment you're going to have to get is expensive. It's not going to be for poor people. Nothing Musk does is for poor people, ever. His cars will never be in poor people's hands, ever. He cares about money. And he plans on making and becoming a trillionaire. How did he do that, people? Do you have a clue? He's hanging with Trump all the time right now. He's giving Trump lots of money. There's a reason. Nobody gives away money for no reason. You understand that? People, I know you're going to turn off the show, run away because you don't want to hear the truth. Well, I'm a Trump supporter. Yeah, support what? All right. Musk has his space program paid for by the United States. Wow. Why? How's that? I guarantee you, if Kamala gets in, she will no longer support his project with his money. I mean, our money. He's going to be a trillionaire. Let him take a couple dollars out of his pocket and spend it. I told him for the last 2 years ago when he sent up those fleet of rockets and everything, I said, the money you spent could have helped every starving child in the United States. Every sexually abused woman, built centers, he did incredible things with that. Nothing he does, nothing Trump does is beneficial to poor, low middle class people. High middle class people ride the wave with rich people. But middle class meaning under like what they made it 75,000, it used to be 50,000. But those people suffer. It's barely survivable. I live in Hawaii, one of the most expensive places to live. I don't know how I'm doing it. But again, he spends how much money but he's not spending it out of his pocket. Even Oprah, remember when she donated 100 cars? She didn't pay for one car. She came to Hawaii with the father. I'm not going to get into that this show. We'll do a show on that. What really happened? What's going on there right now? Uh, it's sad. It's horrible. They're allowing people to sue the electric company, even though it's not just their fault. But Oprah bought 100 acres right next to the area that was burnt down. Another multi-billionaire bought 100 acres on the other side of that area. Now they just released, over 3 days, the property's going double the price of what it was. Burnt out people and everything else are going to raise the price of the property. How's that normal? But around again, it's such a horrible long story. There was 12,000 people living there, and now they're all gone. I mean, they sent most of them back to the mainland. All right, the ones that stayed are suffering and having a hard time living and all that. It's horrible, but it's way worse than that. So now Mr. Musk is on the internet in his site every day. He talks about freedom. Well, about 8 months ago, I was blocked on X, and he took my show away. I had to go back to Twitter's name and back on my Twitter site on X, and then he says, "Well, if you don't come on the show," I was on it like 10 hours a day. No lie, writing 100 letters a day. Musk came out and said, "Anybody that replies to me 100 times, I will give them something." I'm going to say what? I did. 52 hours. I replied to him 100 times. Never heard a thing about it. I just called him a liar. I said, "Don't say things that you can't follow through on," which is almost everything you say. I told him, "You're never going to get to Mars. Sorry, you're not going to make it. You don't even know much about aliens, UFOs, any of that, and you plan on going to Mars. You think aliens want idiots up in space? You think you're that ignorant? They're here for a reason, people, and it's nothing good either." I'm not going to go into that. Maybe when my co-host comes back on, we'll get into a lot of those details. She has more facts about it than any other abducted woman on the planet right now. Personally, I have been involved with it all my life. I saw an alien. I was next to an alien. I was next to a ship. I was next to a Bigfoot. Why? Because I'm outside. I'm looking at the sky 4 hours a night. We filmed in Jersey from about 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning every other night, 5 days a week. This person I was with, I won't say his name because he sold out to the government, and we're extreme enemies now. But we filmed more UFOs than anybody else in the United States. Real UFOs, not tic-tacs, not AI-generated pictures, nothing like that. 1996 to 2002, we had pictures of every kind of ship and things and creatures and entities, all kinds of stuff. But suddenly, he always says, "If they give me enough money, I'd sell out." And he did. All right. And he's attacking me. But right now, this person is saying he's Jesus' disciple. He went from a UFO person to Jesus' disciple. I'm cutting that off right now. But people, I want the truth, which I've been begging Musk. Why don't you talk to me? When you grow a pair of balls, talk to me and I'll tell you the truth. What's going on? I could go into the details of that, but I'm not going to have time to. Not today. I'm going to get into the subject deeply after the election. This whole thing is screwing me up. I get 800 emails a day now and have to go sift through them to find the ones that I really need and things like that. Problem is, everybody's begging for money. When you vote, should we have to pay to vote? Should we have to pay to have the right to vote? No. I'm going to get into the Constitution in a little bit. But let's get back to Musk. All right. Spending all kinds of money on things in space and everything, our money. All right. And I said, if Kamala gets in, they're going to cut that space program off. Do you have an idea what the United States spends on war and space in a year's time? If I told you it's 50 times greater than our deficit, would you believe me? Probably not. Where's the money come from? Take a wild dream of your brain and say, where did this money come from? Considering they're saying we don't have it. And oil and gas and all those things. Now they're complaining about gas and stuff. You know where they can find gas to supply the world for the next 100 years? On every reservation, and they know it. And, this let me split it to Trump. When when the Native people were fighting on the pipeline, all right, I think it was almost 8 or 9 months total. The government allowed them to fly helicopters over them, spraying them in the winter with water, having wild dogs go around chasing them and things like that. And the helicopter's 10 feet above them. You ever go, like, 10 feet under a helicopter? All right? And they let this go on, hitting them with hoses and all kinds of things every day, all right? Never was put on the news. Oh, there's 50 people protesting the pipeline. They never showed it. Vice did, but when it was going down, there was over 2,000 people there every night, staying there. A lot of the, there was a lot of elders there, and people and white people joined them and everything else, and stopped it. And that's just one simple thing. And then when Trump was talking about it, this is what his idea was. Anybody that tries to stop the oil line pipeline will be put in jail for 25 years, meaning he'll arrest the Native people and put them in jail. And he says he loves Native people. And he had one chief come out and say, all Native people love Trump. You know, everything he does is a lie, and people believe it. I mean, if I told you I was God, would you believe it? No. But if Trump said it, he already said, I will be a dictator on day one. Does anybody have a brain understand it? Look at the word dictator. Are you that stupid? Are you such a moron that can't look up one word? Do it. And then think about what he says he wants to do. If you listen to Kamala, you understand what he's doing. If you listen to Trump, you'll see what a fool and crazy person he truly is. Now, Musk is just going around with him right now, giving him $50 million a month and things like that to help him further down the road. Again, why is money with the election? There should be a rule. Everybody running for president gets the same allotted money amount for the campaign. Because you know what it does? Only rich people can become whatever they want. And it's all about the rich people. And that's why it's created that way, people. If I go into the Constitution, which I'll break from Trump and Musk, do you know what the Constitution is, people? Trump, there is no Constitution. They're doing it right. Musk said they're going to destroy the Constitution. He has no clue what it is, how it was created, or why. To me, that's the most ignorant statement I ever heard. The Constitution, remember who was alive in creating it? George Washington and Jefferson, two main ones, basically. Both of them were the biggest Native American killers. George Washington, when he gave an order to retrieve a reservation, he gave the order to kill two others. Jefferson, before he was president, rode across the southern part of the United States, killing every tribe he could. And then he comes back and talks about freedom. Freedom for who, people? The white people. George Washington helping the rich people. Remember, in that time frame, poor people were not allowed to vote. How's that possible? What kind of freedom is that? If it wasn't for Jefferson, white people wouldn't have been voting at all. But the thing was, you had to be a landowner. You had to do this, that, and the other thing. You had to be rich. Now, let me explain two things to you people that you probably have no clue. Parts of the Constitution were stolen from the Native people. Then the second part, and this is a part very few people know, it wasn't the Native people going around Skyping, scalping all the white people. No, that's bullshit. Basically, the United States government paid men, white men, to kill Native people. If you go to scalping, they got paid. It was a man, roughly to our time frame, be $80 for a man scalp, $60 for a woman scalp, $40 for a child scalp. For real, people. This is your history that you don't want to know, that was never put in a history book in the United States. Why is that? I can't tell you what evil runs in the White House? What were the symbols around the White House? What is it all about? All right, getting back to that, we're dealing with the Constitution, the right to carry arms. That's what it was for. So they shoot Native people. If they outlawed guns, guess what? The Native people wouldn't be slaughtered like the way they were. Over 50 million Native people were killed. And white people don't respect, don't even say they're sorry. And on top of all that, they stole all their land. And they took whatever Native people were alive and said, you got a choice. We'll kill you or we'll put you on a reservation. What they did, they picked 5 of the most deadliest, dangerous pieces of land in the United States, put them there, assuming they would all die. Now, after that, what happened? All Native children were taken 6 years old, put in a prison camp until they were 16, until 1920. 1920 was a big change because then they allowed women to vote. Then they allowed black people to vote. Do you understand our system, what it was created on? And our Constitution, our Constitution. It's the gun crazy idiots that want to go around shooting people with rapid fire machine guns and everything else. Really? Kamala has a gun. She said she'd shoot somebody if they came in her house. She's not against guns. She's against perverted people going around shooting children. And it's happening more and more. You know, one simple thing they could do, put a metal detector on the doorway going into the school. Sure, maybe a guard in the school as well, but one thing like that in front of the doorway, it would help a lot. Sure, there's plastic guns and everything else, but most of the mass shootings are rapid fire machine guns and everything else. Rapid fire rifles and stuff like that. You know, man takes what he wants and creates what he doesn't want. We don't want to destroy the planet, and that's what man does. Man's only concern is making a better toy, a faster toy, all right, a bigger toy. It's not about better. We had a car that ran on water when I was 14 years old. I didn't have it, but they had them. That was put out, close up, and disappeared. In Hawaii, 7 years ago, at the Earth Fair, we had 3 guys in cars there that converted to run on water. And they were charging $500 to convert it. It's not that complicated. I mean, here in Hawaii, we don't have cold weather. You know, on the mainland, we have to use antifreeze. But they showed it. They let people take rides in the car and everything else. Technology was way beyond you want to believe. And basically why it's not out, because nobody can make money on it. Imagine making your car run on water. What would it do to the gas industry? What would it do to everything else? Medicine's the same thing. All these things are based on making money, not making people safe and happy. Nothing. I can't say a lot of things. It's censored on YouTube. But text me, email me, hawksblood1@AOL.com. I'm a rebel, probably the most hardcore rebel out there. The main reason I was next to an alien. I was next to a Bigfoot. I had 5 death experiences. I learned how to travel out of my body for almost 35, 40 years. So there's a lot of things I did and do and have become done that makes me a little more aware than most of these people. Oh, where's our pipe today? Where's our pipe? Where's our this? Where's our drugs today? Oh, I don't have money for drugs, so I'm just gonna get drunk. What do we care about today? What's the number? I'm gonna name 5 things. I mean, one religion I studied for a while, time, is lust, greed, anger, vanity, attachment. Well, I changed it to drugs, smoking and drinking, cheap sex, cheap thrills, and sports. All absorb poor people's money, sick people's money. The rich don't matter. They can do buy whatever, anytime, all the time. Rich people are creating a sick world. They want to remove all the sick people and the poor people. If you're a millionaire and you have 5 millionaire friends around you, and some poor homeless little family, whatever you want to call them, move in there, what do you think they want? To get rid of them right away. Atlantic City in Jersey was the ghettos. and they built the casino there, all the casinos, and they had to drive them out little by little. It came down to one person right in the middle of the casinos. They offered us so many millions of dollars to move. He said, "No, I don't need money. I want to live right where I am." They built a bridge over our house. Surprising they just didn't take her out, which happens in government. Uh, so that's where that goes. Getting back to the Constitution, you know all the rules and what they all are. Read them. And think how they fit into poor people. The right to defend yourself. If the policeman knocks on your door and comes in, they can do it. And you're not allowed to do anything in defense about it. Why is that? Your home is your castle. You should be able to defend it against all attacks. All right? Which you can't. The rules are double standard, especially when man makes a law. All the laws on the books. If you do research, the laws on the book about sex, sexual abuse, rape, and child abuse are super ridiculous and crazy. I'm not going to go into it. I put a book out for women only, Understanding the Man's Ego. It's for women. Men don't care. Let me shut this off real fast. Sorry about that. So the book's out there, mainstream. If you're a woman, read it. All right, it's not going to matter. It's how to defend yourself against men and their ego and the way they think and act. All right, Musk doesn't have a wife right now. And you know when we have people in government saying, "Well, they don't have a family." What's that mean? You're not normal because you don't have a family. You know, people, men in general, are really twisted. And it wasn't like it's a new thing. It's gone on for over, I'm going to tell the truth on this, 100,000 years. I'm aware of all my past lives. I can get into it, but I won't get into it all today. But Atlantis was the time planet Earth was the Garden of Eden, and it was destroyed. And then the human race was reprogrammed, not created. Aliens didn't create us. The Anunnaki didn't create us. All the bull stories you hear and read are ridiculous. It's man's twisted ego to create a better himself. Now, the words that are existed is deities. Hinduism was the first religion on the planet, and they followed deities. They weren't called gods, and they aren't gods. So when they say, well, all these gods, well, no, there's no plural of God. God is singular, and you will never be part of it in any way that you think you can be. Well, I do everything in the name of God. What do you do in the name of God? Spit on the ground? Go to the bathroom? What do you do in the name of God? Give a homeless person a hot dog, and that makes it spiritual? People on this planet do not know what the word spiritual even means, and they also do not know what the word LOVE means. Musk said he loves his child, but he doesn't love other children. What kind of love's that? I love my tree, but I'm going to cut every other tree in the neighborhood down. You know, it's pathetic. Man has lost his morals, whether they really had them at any level or at any high level, which they don't. Everything says. All he can do, one of the richest, well, he is the richest person on the planet, to attack a woman who has much better morals than he ever will have. Now, here's something that I want to come tell you. Whether you listen to this show, please send it to everybody you know, whether they listen to it or not. They won't. They don't want the truth. Musk and Trump never had the balls to join the army. Trump was born with a silver spoon up his butt, even a gold spoon up his butt. Musk the same. He worked hard, but again, he moved so he didn't have to join the army. People, you know, I enlisted. They didn't want me. I had stomach problems. They said, we don't want to take care of you, and they let me out. But I met a girlfriend. I got married and all that. But again, I was going to go and take electronics and boxing. That's what I wanted to do when I went in the army. They said, no problem. The people, you know, were afraid. Even Elvis Presley went in the army. And guess who else who was my favorite idol in boxing? Muhammad Ali. And because he didn't go in the army, he became washed out. Seriously. He would have went in. He would have been boxing everywhere. He would have been on tour and all that in the army, just like Elvis did. then he would still be number one when he came out, rather than hiding and running, "I'm a religious person." Can't beat people up. Oh, really? I wore a badge on my leather coat every day with his picture on it and that. I supported him all the way up to the movie video, fake movie they put out about him in the theaters of him boxing somebody. I'm sorry, but again, I lost my respect for him. You know, when you say you're a religious person, when you say this, you follow that to the T, or you're not that. Don't say you're spiritual. Don't say you're religious. Don't say you're a priest, minister, rabbi, pope. Any of those words. Even the pope. I write him up 10 letters a day if I can. He puts 10 things up, I'll write 10 letters back to him. He has no clue what he's doing. He's actually trying to destroy the Catholic race, changing all their theories and principles. He said there is no hell. He said Adam and Eve was a fake story. And he wants to rewrite parts of the Ten Commandments. He's pathetic. I can go into all these so-called spiritual speakers, Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle, considered the number one spiritual speakers on the planet, that cannot even talk about a God. They can't talk about death. They can't talk about any of those words at any level. Well, God, they mention the word God, not no clue what they're talking about. When a priest hired, they hired 1,500 people to do exorcism. Why? They couldn't. You think just because you say, "Oh, in the name of Jesus' name, be gone," demons have to leave? You think they're dumb as we are? What's the TV shows on about ghosts and spirits and stuff? They're all here. Now they're communicating with them. They got nothing good to say. Even if your grandmother and grandfather's coming around, her angel, her spirit is hanging around you. They're not going to save you. Oh, we're going to protect you. No, they're not. They can't. I mean, one miracle might happen in your life, and you're like, well, that was because of that. We give energy and belief all the lies we were programmed with. Now, I'm going through a lot today, but this is the beginning of my show, Adentures into the Strange. I want you to know who I am. I wasn't a good person. I became a high priest at 16. I was doing hypnosis at 14. For real, people. I challenged multiple high priests along my way the time I was doing that. I learned about psychic abilities, learned most of them, realized we cannot use them in our world today. If you were psychic and could see 1 minute into the future, 1 minute into the future, you could go to everything you know and take every penny that you have. Because we say these things. Anybody with psychic ability, you can feel energy of a person. We radiate who we are, what we are, our energy, our level of awareness, and everything. If you can see a person's aura, and that's real easy. And I don't mean very few people that can. And I'll do a show on that. It's simple to learn, and it's something you should always do. These people that go online and communicate with somebody for years and think they're in love with them, and it's not even a male or female, it's not who they thought it was, and all those kind of things. Energy radiates from a person and what they are. And if you can see that, you don't have to depend on anybody else. Oh, they're cheating, they're a liar, they make believe, or anything. I can go into that as well, but I'm not today. We got a serious problem. Musk, a rich person, the richest person, is attacking a woman, attacking our government, attacking most things. Trump is. Let's get this straight, people. People coming across into our country. Oh, well, they're this. They're in Mr. Trump's words. They're evil. They're robbers, thieves, murderers, rapists. Oh, really? Did you ever look at our record of our history of our planet for the past years? Rape has always been going up. Always. Child abuse has always been going up. Not because of people coming into the country. Now, my brother's son was on the Border Patrol for 2 years. Do you know how many children and women they found dead every day trying to get to the border? These people from that country would drive them halfway out to the desert, drop them off, go back and get paid for more people, drive them halfway and drop them off, and they left them there with no food or water or anything. People, they're people. We are all people. We're not all rapists, murderers, killers. We're not all that. Just because we come from somewhere, we're human. All right, we're a human being, whatever that means to most people. But we should respect each other, which we don't. We don't respect each country. They didn't respect the native people when they came. You know who else they also killed? The Quakers. They wiped them out. Then when the witches came out, they were slaughtering all them. And I'm gonna tell you a fact. When I was young, I met a woman who was a lawyer in a restaurant, and she became a witch, which I was. And she went to court and had it become a religion, a legal religion. All right. In Jersey, they had signs around. If you know a witch, put your name and address here. We'll blow their car up. We'll burn them. It was always bad. Man has programmed people at every level, not women. Women never had rights. Women didn't have rights. Women, and you still don't. Well, Mr. Trump took a lot of that rights away from women, and women's going to vote for him. Why? You want to go to war? Go to war. All right. You're gay, you're sexual, whatever the problem is, you're allowed to do what you want, or you should be. Never mind being blocked. He doesn't want transsexuals to play in sports or women, and he has his own controlled ideas. He hates women on a physical level as far as like communication. Sexual is totally different. Let's talk about that for 1 minute, 2 minutes. Trump's a liar, and when they show pictures of him now, he's saying everything's AI. All AI fake pictures of me. No, they're not. When he was hanging out, all right, a long time ago. Hold on, where is it? Well, Jeffrey Epstein was his friend. What's his friend, people? A real friend? There's pictures of him, videos of them together, plane, the Lolita plane, and all that stuff was real. All right, when Trump was put in jail, I wish, when Jeffrey was put in jail, they put him on suicide watch for a day, and he was killed the next day. Oh, he committed suicide. Whether he was really killed or not, we don't know. He could have brought him off and put him out. They did a lot of Kennedy's death. Again, when that happened, he had a list of all the people that were involved with him. Trump's name was on it. It came out, what, 2 months ago, a month ago? I'm going to release that list. What, are you going to take his name off of it and then show you the list that he has? All right. Now, his other friend, Mr. Trumpo's friend, was Hugh Hefner. You know who that is, the person that ran the Playboy Club? Okay. He went there a lot. He was friends with Hugh Hefner until they had a disagreement, and he was thrown out of the Playboy Club. That picture was on the cover of Playboy magazine. So tell me that's the person you want for president. You know what? How many months ago? I'm going to be a dictator the day I get into office. People, look up dictator. If you don't know what it is, look at countries that have a dictatorship. I have a student in another country, and it's basically dictatorship. Everybody in that country gets paid the same. A doctor, a lawyer, a shoemaker, a sick person, they all get paid the same. They can't open a business without the government being the corporation behind it. Everything's controlled. It's sad. People believe that things are really that bad other places. And now Musk is becoming buddies with Trump. Trump's trying to say he's buddies with Putin. Putin's a mass killer, people. Well, I'm friends with this mass killer. Really? There's a big difference between being friends with somebody and trying to work out warring problems, right? And situations, trying to stop war. But we're not friends. No country's friends with the United States, and we're not friends with Russia or China. No matter what you hear, what you see, It's all about what China's preparing to do, and nobody will talk about that. What the United States is preparing to do, nobody can talk about that. You're being filled with multiple lies. Kamala is coming out trying to help middle class and poor people live. Trump isn't. Musk will never care about poor people. Where is your attention? What are you going to do with your vote? Throw it away, not vote? I mean, I don't care if you vote in the wind. At least vote. You didn't have you didn't have that privilege a long time ago. But think about it. What we want our country to turn into. Now, a few things. Neither one of them know. The first word, and it was created by Truman, and Eisenhower had to keep it going, and it was called MJ-12. MJ-12 is a real entity, meaning people involved with what goes on in the whole UFO world around the United States all the time. I'm going to go into a couple details about that, people. This is fact. I'm not making it up. I put my life on the line, and we're only accountable to God, and I can't lie to God. Period. I'd rather blow up right now. Seriously, no matter what went down. But here's the thing. Who was accountable to what when Eisenhower was president? Who was accountable to what when Truman was president? That's pretty well later. They weren't the first presidents or nothing. But when Truman was, when I was born, 1952, fleets of UFOs went over the White House twice in 1 week. Everybody saw it. 1952 people. It wasn't drones, it wasn't Tic Tacs, the words they use. It wasn't anything except real UFO fleet of army. How did they fly over the White House? Again, people, all the lies that come out between and around that. Eisenhower had to follow what Trump created. He said, well, we have to keep that kind of hush hush. We don't want the world to know we can't do anything about it, which they can't. Russia can't. Germany can't. China can't. We're trying to make friends with them. They're here for reasons, people. And it's not to help the rich, and it's not to help the poor. So figure out what leaves between that. Oh, we're all good and bad. No, we're not all good and bad. Planet Earth, people, you know you will accept this, is hell. This is the lowest soul, which is what you are, outside of the body, inside the body, is where it's at, hell. The reason why a book came out, Dante's Inferno, and explained the different levels of hell. He didn't know what he was talking about. The levels of hell is here right now. Or burning, or being in fire, being frozen, being cut up, and all those words. That happens to the physical body. You can freeze the body, burn it, you can chop it up, you can do all the things. You can create that yourself and do it to other people. And so you can't. You can't be frozen, you can't be chopped up, you can't be killed. People, you're so programmed by every religion that has false teaching at every level. Not one of them talks about a real God. I put a book out, The True Teachings of Jesus from God Realization. I was alive when he was alive in my past life. As a woman. He was killed by his people. All right? Why? Nobody wants to believe anything good. Oh, I want everything good to happen. Oh, no. Relationships can't stay together. You love somebody and will stay together for life and then leave them 2 months later, 2 years later, 20 years later. Love isn't expandable. It's one thing only. It's what it is. You can't teach love. Jesus did not teach anybody love. He did show it to him. I'm not going to go into those details. We can hang up and just jump off the show. But he showed it. And imagine, how could he show love? How do you show love to your children? How do you show love to your family? How do you show love to anybody? Think about it. How do you teach them? How do you teach a child to love somebody? You can't. Children have an instinct to actually love something. And that the intuition is incredible. We're more in tune with the inner worlds than man has become after he grows up. Parents cannot teach children, or they don't, anything spiritual. Why is that? What do you teach children? Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, Superman, the fairy godmother. Okay, you think that's helping a child grow in any good way? And then you tell them it's all lies when they get older. But the people that tell the children about God, well, all those people, God's real. How's the child supposed to understand that? You said all this was real, but they're all fake. Why is God real? Prove it. They can't prove a thing. Then the word is protection. How many adults know anything about protecting their child against psychic attacks, energy attacks? None. None that I ever met. Well, in the New Age world, they're trying because they came out with the indigo children, the star children, and all those words. But they couldn't change them. They let them they were creating their own reality, meaning a lot more psychic and things like that. And over the past maybe 5 years, a lot more people, not giant numbers, but a lot more people becoming aware of their past lives and can prove it. In detail. All right. There's so many things happening. And I hate to inform you, we only have about 6 years. UN agenda, people, write it down. UN agenda dash 30. What's happening? They're at level 5 already. Basically, half of the population has to be taken out. AI has to be enforced across all things. And there'll be other things. I'm not going to go into all the details. But it's real. 193 countries agreed on it and said that's what we need. So where does that put us, people? Do you understand what's happening? No. I go to church on Sunday. Everything's cool. We're going to be like children. We're going to go into the six-dimensional beings. All the bullshit you hear every single day. Go to a church. Go to a temple. Go anywhere. Quote in the Bible. The Bible was written by man, not God, not Jesus. Now, Christians don't even know that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, only 2 of them were Jesus' disciples. The other 2 were evangelists. Look at the word evangelist, people. You believe things because somebody said this is right. Just because somebody writes something down doesn't make it real. Thousands of years ago, going back to the Anunnaki, well, somebody wrote down the Anunnaki made man. No, they didn't. They didn't make the giants either. Everything was part of this planet, people. And science can't even tell you that now. I'd be worried about science. They feed you, or they're telling you this, that, and the other thing. A black hole? 3 months ago, they said, well, black hole's not really a black hole. The Big Bang Theory? Bang, everything's there. No, it's not. Evolution's a part of God's evolution in its consciousness. Meaning dinosaurs, animals, the steps that they take. We only come on a meteorite, crash into the planet, started out as a one-cell creature and turned into a human. Now, what you will notice in time, everything keeps getting better. When you mutate something, some things get better, and some things get worse. You would have people with 10 arms, 10 heads, like you see all these. Well, I'm not going to get into it, but things would change, not for the better, always. Mankind has become an incredible machine, entity, being, and we destroyed that. You know what a lymphocyte in your body is? Check it out. Pull it up. Lymphocyte goes through your whole body and destroys every defective cell and pushes out of your body through the bloodstream. We only have a set number of them, but we bring so many creatures and entities, for a word, bad cells into our body that attack them. It's like putting 100 people against 10 million people. Who's going to win? The sickness. But we create the sickness that we bring into our body. They're not natural. Everything we create is destroying the planet. Cars, planes, horses didn't destroy the planet. And what's the United States doing with that, people? It started way back even when Trump was president. He's selling all the horses to China. Now pull up another rich asshole. There's a couple other ones, but let's bring up Gates. He's buying all land in the United States. He believes cows are dangerous to the planet. He believes that he's going to eliminate it. And you know what? It comes in, "Well, we're not gonna eat crickets." "Oh, yes, you are. There's so many things happening. Trump can't do a thing about it with his words, his lies, and everything else. When something hits him in the face, like it was just his ear, but when something really hits him, what's he gonna do? "You asshole!" Just make fun of him. He can't do anything because he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about war. He had a gold spoon in his mouth all the time. He didn't have to go anywhere else to look for food. He didn't have to starve to death and hope that his children get. There was a special on just yesterday, a woman in Florida, 3 children, 4 dogs, and 3 family can't go into the house. They're not even get to it. Can't find a place to stay. That's the real thing, people. Think Trump cares? Well, I'm friends with Putin. Uh, Putin could declare war on another country, and that's okay, right? Uh, you know, we're in a serious condition, people. If you believe Trump, I feel sorry for you. If you vote for Trump, guess what? You create your own problem. What he will bring to this world will be, like he said, a couple of days before they marched on the White House, he said, "This is going to be the worst firestorm that mankind has ever seen." And then he said, "Some of you people should not go." Why did he say all that if he didn't know what was happening? People being deceived, controlled, and programmed. When I learned hypnosis at 12 years old, I learned from Kreskin. He was the most famous hypnotist in the United States. He went around doing hypnosis and mind reading. But when I met him, I was twice, and then I started doing hypnosis. At 14, I had all my people in my neighborhood, all my friends hypnotized. I'd have their friends hypnotized. Uh, and then I went into a couple of major things after that. Psychic implant removal, past life regression. Nobody told me anything about those words. I created it for myself. Seriously. People, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. Just maybe a little aware than most people are. That sit there and figure all day rather than finding out what's going on in their bodies, and what they can do when they die, what's going to happen, and all those kind of things. You're not going to live forever, people. No matter what pills you take, no matter what you do, you're not going to live. The oldest person that's going to be possible in this planet right now is 125 years old, and you're not going to make it to that, and hopefully you don't. If you're 120, you see all your family die. People, look at reality. Don't live in fairyland and listen to, "We're going into the golden age. Everything is beautiful." Look outside. Look at the air. Look at the ground. Look at the plants. Food doesn't have any vitamins left. It used to be 100% vitamins. Now it's down to like 40%. The water is pretty well toxic. I mean, you get it. The air is extremely toxic. You don't want to know the truth about chemtrails, why they're spraying everybody. Putin's the only one in the world, well, there's one other country too, that refuses to let anybody spray anything over their country. People, you want to listen to the truth, you want to live in fairyland. Uh, Basically, what people rather believe. Well, my minister, my pope, my rabbi said this. What? You know anything about the Hasidic Jewish people? What they do to women? The Muslims, what they do to the women and their children? You know anything about any of them? You know anything about the Quran, what it says, and who wrote it, why, and how, and all that? I followed that too. I studied everything I could to see if anybody knew anything about God, which they don't. Angels are not God. Angels are not teachers. They bring a message, people. And I knew most of the people that had messages and stuff like that. We're in trouble every which way. Michael Scallion put out the world charts by 1995, and then he kind of pulled into the middle. How the world's going to deteriorate, the surroundings, everything's going to be flooded, and everything else. But all that, he went into all those details. And then a friend of mine who's dying, who's arrested for false charges, 150, because he brought people to Area 51 to watch the mothership land there every month. People, facts. But again, oh well, no, they're not. No, 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 no. Or there might be Tic Tacs in the air, but now they're using the word phenomena instead of spaceship. They're afraid to even say the word spaceship. Too many people become unreal and really see them. Well, again, I filmed more UFOs with the person I was with from 1996 to 2002 than anybody else. Every kind of ship, and there are different races cruising above us. Most of them don't stop here, all right? They're flybys. They're intelligent beings in a lot of different ways. Not spiritual, but they're intelligent in a lot of other ways. People, our life is in our hands right now. The worst, the biggest, dangerous elections happening in what, less than a month. What are you gonna do? Bring the downfall on the planet? Maybe you don't like the planet. I don't, but I wouldn't destroy it because I don't like it. These people live in hell and like it. It's their choice. I wouldn't want to see them try to get into heaven. You know, people, this is what I say to Trump, Musk every day. Jesus said 3 times in the Bible. I don't believe in the Bible, but I know Jesus is real. He said, it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get to heaven. Why would he say that? Why would he say it a couple times? Think about it. All you rich assholes. Seriously. You can't help poor people, but you buy a spaceship, buy a submarine, or whatever. But no, let those kids let those little kids get kidnapped and sold. You don't care about us. Money changes everything. It sure does. I think the closer you get to million and billion, the less you feel anything about a God. Because now you're thinking you are a God. Musk thinks he's God. Gates thinks he's God. Trump thinks he's God. Do you know anything about Gore? Gore is the person that came out making millions of dollars exposing the word global warming. People, this right there, you need to check them out. Why and why things are happening? Which direction we're going? Sure, not about world peace. That can't happen. If 5 countries have 5 different gods, we're never going to agree on anything. Well, my God said this, your God said that, because you don't talk to God. That's why God said that. God doesn't come into hell with demons down here. You'll be good now. You're going to be good. He just tried to tell his people, go out and sin no more. But you understand what that word means? Go out and sin no more? Don't say come back next week and I'll forgive you again. No. But then again, here's something for all Christians, people. If you know a Christian, send in this video and tell them to watch the last 5 minutes. John wrote Revelation. Revelations where he writes about angels. He said these angels, but he talked about what sins cannot be forgiven. Every Christian should read Revelations 3 or 4 times. It's only a couple pages. You can read it in an hour or two. It depends how slow you read. But read it 2 or 3 times in a row, and you might see where it's written about that. We have a great thing of reading something that we don't like and just skipping over it. What sins cannot be forgiven? You'll be totally amazed what sins are there. So when people think they could go to church and ask for forgiveness or this, that, and the other thing, it's not like that. Buddha was the closest to the truth about that when he talked about karma. Jesus did something that Buddha or nobody else did. He killed people and things like that, but they deserved it. You can't heal somebody that doesn't deserve it when you get karma. A psychic would go, I heal anybody I go see. Really? That's Satan. You're going to heal him? People, this is the real world, and it's really crashing. And you're about to make one of the most important decisions you can in your life, and your children's life. Are you willing to get a pair of balls or whatever, male, female, whatever you are, to get the courage to go against the lies and deal with truth that you feel might be respectful to you and your children? You're not a millionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire. Think about it. Think about what all these people do and what they do to make money. You don't make money by making everybody have the same amount of money. You feed them nothing so that you can make a profit. I mean, you invent a cookie. It costs you $2 to make the cookie, but you can sell it for $12. No, in the old days, it wasn't about that. The native people did that. Tribal people didn't do that. know, power. I mean, kings and queens, they got into money. Money was the corruption. The corruption, not about winning more people. Because if you didn't like the people, you kill them. I'm gonna throw it in today. I was in the UFO world speaking from 1996 to 2002. To meet every important person in the UFO world. Important, not believing they are or saying people that knew what they were about and experienced it. All right. Well, since about 30 years ago, 16 of my friends, good friends, normal friends, general friends, I mean, like, were all taken out, really. One, my best friend from school, his whole family disappeared. People, MK12 is real. And just imagine from 1950 to now, they blocked the idea that aliens are real. How'd they do that, people? I know two people. One's famous, still alive, one of the most famous writers. I'm not going to say who it is. Killed 44 people for the government. Another friend, who is I did a show with a person for 12 years, her husband, said he had to kill 134 people for the government. Did you hear what he said? You know, and like how Kennedy was taken out, it wasn't an accident. It was. I'm not into that either. But it's not what you believe. Period. All right. So you hear stories and you accept them and believe them. You listen to one word Trump says. You need to clear your ears out, clean your brain out, rethink what you're doing here, and why you're here. All right, people. I know I bored you to death, and if you even stayed around, somebody did. Congratulations, I'm glad for you. But people don't want to hear the truth. They want to think they're good, and everything they do is good, and we're helping everybody. No, we're not. If you can't help yourself, you can't help the world. Fact. All right, people. This is the beginning of the show. Keep the link because I'll be putting my shows on the same link for now. Uh, Tommy Hawks, Big Island of Hawaii, saying over and out. Till next time, enjoy your life. Get what you can out of it. Search for the truth. Don't follow the lies. Don't listen to anybody. Feel it in your heart. Think about it then. When Trump says something evil, don't give it credit. Don't even listen to it. You get programmed by listening to something over and over. Till then, till next time. Over and out.